Just 2 years ago, this was a sleepy seaside town popular with backpackers. Now Sihanoukville is a Chinese construction site.
Alright guys, welcome to China's little colony in Cambodia, Sihanoukville. Just got here and we've got a lot of exploring to do, and I'm really interested in what we see here. There's one, it looks like a defunct casino, and then there's pretty much, wow, they weren't exaggerating when they were talking about just these empty buildings, uncompleted projects. That's the first thing that stands out. And almost every sign that you see has Chinese writing on it. My tuk-tuk driver here, real friendly guy, he was telling me that I was asking him about tourism here. He said there's not many like Westerners anymore. There used to be a lot, but now there's not. And he said now, but there's a whole lot of Chinese folks out here. Okay, we've got some wild monkeys here.
Hello, monkey.
Hey, buddy. That's so crazy. So there are many monkeys in Sihanoukville. Wow. These are wild, you guys. You can tell they're not scared of people. What are you doing down there? I see you. Yeah. Susadai. And here we go, guys. We got a combination for you. We got the monster monkey over here, the big one, and we've got monkeys amongst goats. Wow. I think I know who the alpha is right here. And then you've got a few goats over here doing their thing. Just the Sihanoukville wildlife tour. I didn't know I was going to get it, but I like it. Hey, bud. Monkeys jumping in the trees. This is just awesome. Independence Beach. That's one of the well-known ones.
Yeah, Independence.
A lot of people out there. No, I've never been to Sihanoukville before, so I don't know what it used to be like, but I'll try to find some pictures and put them on the screen for you all. But I know it used to be a backpacker's hideaway. It used to be a sleepy little traveler's town. Some people said it kind of felt like a village. You know, it's just like a backpacker's heaven, the beautiful beach, and it has been thoroughly transformed. And we're going to see more of that in this video. So over here we've got all kinds of casinos and hotels, all Chinese owned. And guys, that leads me into my next point. I mean, what changed and why did this former backpacker haven change into this half-built burgeoning metropolis? Well, some Chinese investors got the idea that they wanted to turn this city into the Las Vegas of the East.
A Chinese casino empire to rival Macau and Las Vegas has shot up on the coast of Cambodia. In just a few years, Sihanoukville has been transformed from a sleepy tourist town into a heaving metropolis.
The Las Vegas of Asia. And well, let's just say things didn't exactly go according to plan. Here's one for you. The casino slash hotel that never was. Apparently, from what I was reading just today in an article that was written this year, there are about 400 of unfinished projects just like the one you see there, right here in this city, which used to be quite a small city. You know, when you look on YouTube, pretty much every video you see about this place is just people's disappointment and telling you not to come here. But for me, I didn't come here expecting beautiful scenery. I came here expecting to see stuff like this. And I think the situation that happened here, it's important, it's interesting. I don't think it gets enough attention. And I think it's a warning for other cities that might decide to try to follow suit, you know, because what you have here is like a bunch of half-finished buildings, real estate prices going through the roof, like literally going up 1,000% or more, to where a lot of locals can't even afford to, you know, live here anymore. And apparently about 90% of the businesses here are Chinese owned. we just passed the only big supermarket in town, and we've got the mall here. Of course, these are Chinese owned as well. There's another casino. I mean, that was the main thing that they were building here. Hotels and casinos. That was pretty much it. That was the main focus. They wanted this to be the gambling city, the Las Vegas of Asia. Thank you. Happy Cambodia New Year as well. Oh, so many people come out here for the Cambodia New Year to celebrate. Okay, so that's why it's looking quite festive, because yeah, Cambodia New Year is upon us. First time I've ever seen this kind of tree, whatever it is. It's beautiful. I can already see it, the ocean straight ahead. Let me go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown on what the story is here. A lot of you already know, but some of you won't know that. So, like I mentioned earlier, Chinese investors have been investing in a lot of different countries and different projects, and you've got the whole Belt and Road thing going on. And with this city in particular, Sihanoukville, they wanted to turn this into the gambling hub and the entertainment hub of Asia. The Las Vegas of the East, so to speak. So a ton of casinos popped up. I don't know how many, but I would say probably over 100 popped up in a very short span of time. The little kids were waving to me, so cute. So when they started opening all of these casinos, it became like a gold rush for Chinese investors and prospectors. So they wanted to get these facilities built and open as quickly as possible so they could start, you know, making that big money, because people were getting rich fast. Well, unsurprisingly, when you've got these businessmen coming in to build, you know, casinos and entertainment venues and hotels, you're going to get corruption, especially in a place like Cambodia, which is it's very corrupt itself, and it's very susceptible to you know, to foreign corruption as well. So with the influx of Chinese investment and building, there was a lot of corruption, there was a lot of crime, and the reputation of this city really just tanked. And all kinds of crazy stuff started happening. I mean, there were crimes out in midday. We're talking like murders.
Money is flooding in, but so too are notorious Chinese cartels. With allegations of abduction, torture, and even murder, it seems these gangs will stop at nothing in their quest to get rich quick.
And also, due to the rush to get these buildings built as fast as possible, they were cutting corners on the construction process. There was definitely not proper inspection, so you actually had some of these facilities collapse.
With construction taking place at breakneck speed, the pressure to build so quickly has proved fatal. Last June, 28 Cambodian workers died when the 7-story building they were working on collapsed. Authorities had twice ordered the Chinese contractor to stop work at the site because of safety concerns.
Well, within these casinos, one of the things that became big was online casinos and online gambling, and it was like a loophole. Online gambling became a really big thing, and gambling in mainland China is illegal. So it was this kind of loophole where Chinese nationals could gamble from home because they were doing it online and it was in a foreign country. Well, for various reasons, the government of Cambodia decided just before COVID that they were going to do away with the online casinos. Now, working within those casinos, you did have a lot of local people, and I've seen stories of, you know, young workers, like underage workers there who are lying about their age to be able to get employed.
She says she was shocked the first time a Chinese gambler propositioned her.
Compared to the average local salary, they were actually doing fairly well, sometimes making even more than double what the going local salary was. Look at these animals. Look at this dog and this little puppy. And hey, bud, I don't have anything for you. Come here. Oh, yeah. Pet him. This really is an interesting place though. I mean, you just walk down here, it's like a little mini paradise. Of course, there's a construction site just next to it. What a cool little tucked away area this is. Susade? So the whole situation just, you know, there were a lot of different factors causing things to just kind of get out of control. And this place got a lot of really bad press, especially there for a while. So long story short, the Cambodian government said, no more. We're done with this online gambling thing. These online casinos, they're done. So it happened relatively quickly. That aspect of the casinos got shut down. And one of the huge problems that happened as a result of this, you know, casino gold rush type mentality is that with all the money that came pouring in here, which was a lot, it sent local real estate prices through the roof. And people were not able to make ends meet. They, you know, their rent went up several times over. They couldn't afford to buy a house. We're talking price increases of sometimes 1,000% or more in a short period of time.
The influx of Chinese tourists, restaurants, hotels and casinos has left Cambodians struggling to keep their businesses afloat. Chinese tourists prefer to stay in Chinese-run resorts and hotels and patronize their own establishments. Rentals have also gone up because the Chinese are willing to pay top dollar for accommodation.
តែសម្រាប់ប្រជាជនគាត់ដូចជាចំណាក់ស្រុកមកពីខេត្តឆ្ងាយៗអញ្ចឹងទៅគាត់មានផលប៉ះពាល់ខ្លាំងទៅលើបញ្ហាផ្ទះជួលហ្នឹងគឺតម្លៃហ្នឹងវាឡើងខ្ពស់
With their livelihoods coming under threat, there is real fear among Cambodians in Sihanoukville that one day their city will be too expensive to live in, and that may force them to move out of the city in search of new opportunities elsewhere.
So ultimately, while at first it seems like, oh, it's helping a lot, you know, there's improvements in infrastructure, there's investment going in. The reality of it is that a lot of locals here really ended up getting screwed. For a lot of locals here, times went from really hard to extremely hard. There was an increase in homelessness. There's probably some degree of an exodus of people fleeing the city to get away from the high prices. So you take all of those things I was just telling you about, which you can see, it's already just a problem that's just waiting to explode. It's like a ticking time bomb. Then COVID hit, and that was pretty much like the final nail in the coffin. So when COVID hit, a lot of Chinese rushed out of here. They wanted to get back home because, you know, I guess they would have preferred to be locked down in China rather than in another country. And they were believing all of the propaganda about, you know, how China had defeated the virus and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, a lot of people rushed out, and with their departure went their investment. A lot of these businessmen and financiers pulled their investments out, stopped investing. And so what you ended up with was, well, essentially a city that still has really exorbitantly high real estate prices for the locals. Cost of living has gone up massively, and you've got like 400 shells of like half completed buildings. So the situation that this city is in now, this used to be like a sleepy, quiet little backpackers paradise. I mean, when I came to Cambodia in 2006, I never made it over here, but I heard people talking about it. But backpackers and travelers from all over the world used to just hang out on the beach. They had a bunch of little like beachside bars and pubs and hostels. And now there's been a massive amount of construction, and basically all of the non-Chinese tourists have essentially disappeared. And now this city is left with a pretty sizable Chinese population. But outside of Chinese tourists and Chinese businessmen, it basically killed this city's tourism industry. We've got all of that out of the way. Let's go get into some important things, which is eating. Well, I knew I felt somebody nuzzling up against my leg. Looks like I got a new little friend there. I haven't had the food yet, but I did want to give this restaurant a little shine, because I mean, it's a really cool looking place. It's right here on the corner. We're over here by Serendipity Beach, and I mean, look, you're just sitting out here at night, having dinner, having a couple drinks. You know, you can hear the waves crashing in. You can feel that ocean breeze. It really is a nice space, and I expect the food will probably be pretty good as well. It's called Yasmin's Restaurant. Well, here's another classic Cambodian food that sounded really good to me. This is deep fried beef with sesame. All right, we finished it. It was very delicious. That set me back about $11, so it's not exactly cheap. Well, after dinner, what better thing is there to do than go for a beachfront walk? And across the street, we're gonna see some festivities going on because, like I said, the Cambodian New Year is upon us. And people here, they don't mess around when they celebrate the Cambodian New Year. You've heard people say that hard times breed tough people. Well, there's an example right there. That kid's probably, what, 5 years old? The Cambodian government, just earlier this year being 2024, put forward some incentives. So some investors or businessmen would, take these old, partially finished buildings and finish them up. So anybody who does that and gets involved with that will get some perks from the government here. Will that bring any fruits? Will it help to solve the problem? I hope so, but only time will tell. Over here, just behind these tents, it's the ocean. There's no way this video will do justice to how long and how far these tents and stalls just go on and on. I mean, I've been walking a pretty long time and they just keep on going. And over here, we've got the street food area. They've got all these little tables set up and their grills and gonna make all kinds of like local snacks and stuff. Just right here on the water. You can't really see it, but had a pretty good flame going there for a second. Yeah, just with the way the lights are constantly going, you can see it's always like a light show. That's just like mainland China. You can easily tell that they were involved in constructing this. That's their thing, put lights on everything and let it shine at night. It looks kind of cool, but this looks, if you just look at this scene, you would think you're in China. Well, I wonder when this one will get finished. Okay, we've made it over here to the Prince Mall, the biggest and possibly only mall in Sihanoukville. All right, guys, behold, the Prince Mall. You know the thing that gets me? They're opening up all these places, right? You got this Adidas shop. I wonder what a pair of shoes here will cost. I mean, probably like $100 US. Average salary for a Cambodian worker here in Cambodia is like $200 per month, okay? $200 per month. Okay, so basic soft drinks are $1 a piece. Does that sound like a reasonable price considering the average salary is $200 a month? I recognize all of these from China. Actually, I like that one, the blueberry and chocolate one. Every single one of these is Chinese. Every single one of them. They've got Chinese foods over here, like dim sum, mainly breakfast foods. And check this out. Congee with pork, so it's basically Chinese breakfast porridge. That in China would cost you like, in US, it would be like half that price or less. But they're charging more for it here in Cambodia, which is just bonkers. This place is actually just a nice Chinese supermarket located in Cambodia. That's all it is. And when I say nice, China has a lot of nice supermarkets, but a lot of Chinese supermarkets also aren't that nice. So by Chinese standards, this one would be considered pretty nice. Not the best, but definitely decent. I mean, all of these alcohols, Baijiu, Jingjiu, Rio, that's a Chinese brand. Let's see what they're charging for one Budweiser. $2 for one bottle of Budweiser. For anybody out there watching who's actually spent time in China, I mean, just by looking at the supermarket, you would think you are in China. This is literally the laundry detergent that I use in China. This looks to me like it's a Chinese supermarket made by Chinese for Chinese. Oh no, they even got 361 Sport here. That's like the worst brand. Yeah, so I don't know if I gave you guys first impressions. I mean, I think a lot of the first impressions I had are pretty self-explanatory, but this legitimately does feel like a Chinese colony. I'm not even joking around it. It really, really does. It's kind of surreal. Okay, we're up here on the 3rd floor. Got a Chinese tea shop, Ancha, which when you just take a look at this place, it looks like it's almost a direct copy of Starbucks, even though their thing seems to be tea, but you can see they definitely had a heavy Starbucks influence in terms of branding. Malatang, one of China's favorite foods. They love it all over the country, and it's pretty good. I enjoy it too. Got a hot pot place. This is 100% Chinese. Okay, the Meishi Guangchang food court. Let's see what they've got over here. Okay, some Japanese style stuff. Hello. All right, we're up here on the top floor. Got a little Chinese dessert shop. The Noble Club. That sounds like a place I should go. A little Chinese cafe. Get a night view of the skeleton buildings there. Those have some people living in them. These are completely unfinished. You can really see it here. This place has thoroughly been China-fied. They put these neon lights up on everything. So right here at beachside, there's this strip, but it's just simply Chinese restaurant after Chinese restaurant. That's all it is. And almost every table that I've seen dining has been only Chinese customers. I mean, literally no Khmer, no Cambodian people eating. At La Vogue Boutique Hotel and Casino, where you can go win a little money, but lose a whole lot more. Okay, well, this city just became even more Chinese because they have a Wanda Plaza. They call it Vanta here, but it's Wanda. It's a Chinese chain of shopping malls. And they have Luckin Coffee, but they couldn't even spell their own name right. They added a G to it, Lucking. I mean, that's pretty bad, right? When you're a major brand and you can't even spell the sign right. I'm loving these. I'm having at least 2 or 3 of these each day. They're just so good. Chilled, fresh coconut water. So just across the street from this, you got this. Another skeleton building. Crossing the street here is pretty tricky because they won't necessarily slow down, so you need to really watch what you're doing. But down here is busy. Fruit market. Got every kind of fruit you could ever want. But that's a whole lot of wasted concrete and rebar right there. Was just talking to a Khmer guy on the other side of this building. He was sitting there drinking beer with his friends, and his English was actually really good. And he just struck up a conversation with me and asked me a lot of questions and asked me about my, my trip here. And it turns out the way he learned English is because he was a tuk-tuk driver, and there used to be so many Western tourists that would come through here, and he just learned English from talking to them. But we were speaking and talking about how it has changed and how the tourism industry is pretty much dead here now. Again, just like every other person I've spoken with here, every other local person or Cambodian person, I haven't met a single one that's happy about the changes here. Literally, not even one. And I've spoken with quite a few people. In a way, that's kind of heartbreaking when you think about it.